Striker Scorpion 82 is now sponsored by Warhammer Combat Cards, a card battle game featuring your favourite Citadel miniatures from the 40k universe. Build your army decks, dominate opponents in player versus player action, collect and upgrade cards to fit your strategy, improve their power and unlock unique traits. Choose from all 40k factions, take part in campaigns based on iconic 40k battles, rise to the top of the leaderboard and win glory. Free to download and play. Link is in the video description below or on the channel homepage, and by using the unique link it helps support the channel. Thanks and enjoy the game. Right, welcome to this Tactics and Showcase video. In this video here, it's the Space Wolves, and new units arrived from Siege Studios. It's the Iron Priest, so like a Tech Marine for the Space Marines, but it's the Iron Priest is the name. It's going to add him into my brand new Space Wolves army that's almost ready for war. And this character, cheap in points, but hopefully will perform a vital role in the army. But in this video, we'll zoom in, take a look at the model, and then we'll talk about the tactics that you can use and the idea behind taking this character in my Space Wolves list. So the model's here. It's one of the ones that's unique to the Space Wolves, so specifically sculpted up for them. So we'll zoom in and take a look. So there he is, the Iron Priest. Just got him through the post from Siege Studios. I've updated the army. You can see the army development video for them on the Plus channel, and wanted to add in a few new units, some Primaris stuff on the way as well, and so Siege Studios have painted up another batch of these just to expand the collection. But fantastic model. I mean, this is one of the really good sculpts, again from Games Workshop. Space Wolves have some amazing models that are unique to them, and I really wanted to get some units that are unique to the chapter, and so this model here, although he's really like a Tech Marine, the sculpt is uniquely for the Space Wolves here. I think really well equipped as well, as we'll discover in the rules. So he's been painted up at silver level from Siege Studios. They have bronze level, everything's painted to a high standard, but bronze for your hordes and infantry squads. Silver level you can go to for your characters, but there is also gold level and platinum level as well if you really want a lot of effort put into character models. Then those options are available. But you can see shoulder pad here, and the gradient that's been done, the yellow going through to the darker tones there, just give that a nice warmth. Nice work. The basing work matches in with my urban basing, nicely done. They even put a bit of a frosty glow on these skulls here, so yeah, this is nicely done. All the edge highlighting done on all the armour. That's what you can expect at that level. Nicely done, yeah. And the eyes, I'm just looking at the eyes, same way that I do them. You've got the darker tone, the highlight at the bottom left, and then a dot of white in the corner. So that's all picked out nicely there, and you can see the frosty effect here on the Hellfrost pistol as well. It's even painted on this tiny little scanner here, the green markings on this little scanner on his arm. So there's a lot of detail on this one. So just showing you, that's what you can expect at silver level from Siege Studios. And for your own painting commission work, by all means get in contact with them. Link in the video description below. There's a link on the channel homepage as well, or you can check them out, Siege Studios, on Instagram as well. So as of filming this one, all I'm waiting for now, these two characters are done, and then I'm waiting for some Primaris units to arrive for the Space Wolves, just to get them fully updated. I'm trying to inject a little bit of Primaris into all of my Space Marine chapters, just to bring them up to date and just to refresh them, and to try out different types of Primaris units in my different chapters. And then my dedicated Primaris army would be the Red Scorpions, which I'm working on at the moment. So the Iron Priest, which is very cheap, very cheap in points. There he is in the codex. Absolutely fantastic model, really nice. So points wise, he starts, I'll call the points out now, 45 points. And then it's all updated. I write in the chapter approved update points here at the back. So we're looking at adding on the servo arm, which is now 0 points. You don't pay anything for that. You've got the Tempest Hammer, which has dropped from 30 points down to 18. So nice points drop there. I'm just checking if the Wolf Priest or the Iron Priest. No, his base cost didn't change. It's still 45 points, but the Tempest Hammer's dropped right down. And then the Hellfrost Pistol is still just 4 points. It's a bargain anyway. It's only 4 points. So it's very, very good. The total then is, for him, 67 points. Exceptionally cheap. Very, very cheap in points, I think, for what you get. So stat line then, power level 5, movement of 6, weapon skill 2+. So this is very useful here. As you'll see in just a moment, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4. He's got 4 wounds, 3 attacks, which is okay for what you're getting for that amount of points. Leadership 8 does have a 2+ armor save. So it's an excellent stat line. The Hellfrost Pistol is range 12. So, you know, range 12 pistols are really good. Pistol ones, you can fire it in close combat. Strength 8, AP -4, which is superb, and then D3 damage. If a model suffers any unsaved wounds from this weapon but is not slain, roll a D6. On a 6, the target suffers a mortal wound. So the potential of causing 4 wounds, not likely, but chance of doing that. But not bad, that weapon. It's actually a really good pistol. You got the servo arm, which is ×2 strength. Just comparing which one would you go for here, Tempest Hammer or servo arm? ×2 strength for the servo arm, so strength 8, AP -2, and a straight 3 damage. So that's good. You can only be used to make 1 attack each time this model fights. When a model attacks with this weapon, you must subtract 1 from the hit rolls. It's -1 to hit rolls, but you start on 2+, so it's still really, really good at a 3+. But then the Tempest Hammer gives you this ×2 strength the same, but it's AP -3 and straight 3 damage. So it's a superior weapon. When attacking with this weapon, you must subtract 1 from the hit roll. So again, you drop down to 3+. In addition, if a model suffers any unsaved wounds from this weapon, but is not slain, roll D6. On a 6, it suffers a mortal wound. So the chance causing a bit more damage there as well. So the things to bear in mind: only 3 attacks, but he has got a lot better with the update. Assault Doctrine, when you get to there, will give him an extra AP -1 on pistols and with melee weapons as well. So AP -4 on that Tempest Hammer, which is utterly deadly. And then Shock Assault as well. So if he charges, is charged, performs heroic intervention, it's an extra attack on top of that also. So 3 attacks becomes 4 attacks. And remember, that's at 2s to hit. And then what's even better, it's actually in here, a bit further on. What helps out with this hammer is Hunters Unleashed. If he charges at any point or is charged, performs heroic intervention, is +1 to the hit rolls. So that -1 to hit rolls for that Tempest Hammer is negated with that +1 to the hit rolls. So now you're striking on 2s to hit with a hammer. So it may not be tons of attacks, like 3 or 4 attacks, but 2s to hit though is excellent. You got the 6-inch heroic intervention to bear that in mind as well. And then Savage Fury. If you can get to Assault Doctrine, not only are you getting the extra -1 for the Hellfrost Pistol, the extra -1 on the Tempest Hammer, but you're also, if you score 6s, unmodified 6s, generates extra hits. So you charge him with 4 attacks, you get 2 6s, and all of a sudden you've got a load of hits come through. So it's pretty good. And how many points is that? 67 points. I think it's an absolute bargain here. So I see the strength of the Space Wolves in their characters, and you can hide them and bring them in, protect them behind screens of infantry, and there's some characters there that can really kick out some damage. And maybe by himself he might not be able to bring a vehicle down, but he could pair up with another character and really cause some nasty damage with that Tempest Hammer. But despite all of that, his primary role is actually here. It's Battlesmith at the end of your movement phase, so you can move to get into position. This model can repair a single Space Wolves vehicle within an inch. That model regains D3 lost wounds, and you can only be repaired once per turn. So the aim for him is, I'm running 2 Dreadnoughts in my new list, It's Bjorn the Fell-Handed. I don't show it's Bjorn the Fell-Handed and Murder Fang. These two horrifically nasty dreadnoughts, which are utterly deadly in close combat. But I do get them stuck in, and they take wounds. And so the idea is to take him, start adding wounds back on vitally to try and add a little bit of more protection to these dreadnoughts. The idea is they charge in, they take a bit of damage, 4 wounds have been taken, and now they're a bit weaker, but then he can move in and then start adding the wounds back on to try and get them back up to strength. So they're characters, these two dreadnoughts as well, so they can hide behind, they charge in, take some damage, they can slink away for a while, get some repairs behind the safety of the battle line, and then go back out again. So that's his role. So when you see the games coming up with the Space Wolves, he should be near the dreadnoughts just to come alongside them to help with the wounds, and he can kick out his own damage as well. But I don't want to lose him too early on. He's not going to be the tip of the spear, this guy. I want to keep him alive, and he can support in close combat if it's sort of semi-safe, but primarily it's to help out those dreadnoughts. They're the ones that are going to kick out the more damage, and the units I want to keep alive for as long as possible. So he's like a supporting character, really. He's not going to be one of the main ones, so more of a secondary role for him. So I'm going to be careful with this one just here. Now, there's something else. He's not a named character, so that then opens up the ability to add relics onto him. And yeah, there's one that I go for here. Yeah, it's the Armour of Russ, because he's got a 2-up save, which is fantastic, but he has no invuln save at all. But it says here, Armour of Russ, this model has a 4+ invuln save, so sometimes you get a relic, gives you a 5+, it's okay, but 4+ is great. I'm going to block half of the damage coming through. In addition, at the start of the fight phase, you can choose an enemy unit within an inch of this model. This unit cannot be chosen to fight within the fight phase until all other units have been able to do so. If the target unit has an ability that allows it to fight first, instead fights as if it didn't have that ability. If both players have units that cannot fight until other units have done so, then alternate choosing units, and so on. But it's going to potentially stop some attacks from coming through. You get to go first here, so that could prove vital in close combat. And plus, the main one's the invuln save, just to get that 4+ invuln save, just to make him a bit better. I think it's a bargain just to take an extra relic and to add that on top. So there's something else that you can do with him, because he's an unmanned or unnamed character. You can go to the book here, and here of the chapter for 1 command point. Use a stratagem before the battle after nominating your warlord. Select one Space Wolves character model in your army that is not your warlord and determine one warlord trait for it. So, it's, 1 command point is pretty much worth it. This is the updated rules here. There's plenty to choose from. Just trying to think of ones that are actually quite doable during the game. You're paying out the points, so you want to see if one of these deeds can be accomplished. Whatever happens though, the character himself will get the trait, so at a minimum. But you semi want to try and go for it where you're able to fulfill the deed, and then it unlocks that ability for other units nearby. Saga of the Warrior Born. You need to slay an enemy character, the warlord here. You can always choose to fight first in the fight phase, and that's going to affect other units nearby. Whilst within 6 inches of your warlord. That one's okay. Saga of the Wolfkin. +1 to the attacks characteristics here. So he's going to get that straight away. So on the charge, 3 attacks, +1 here, +1 for the new updated rules as well. So that's 5 attacks, pretty good. And if he's able to slay 5 models in the fight phase, which is doable with that nasty hammer, then other units within 6 are going to get extra attacks, which is epic. And it's Space Wolves units, so it's going to affect things like dreadnoughts and things as well. So, that's very powerful. You can get that to go off. Slay 5 enemy models is quite doable. Yep. You got Saga of Majesty. It's auto-pass morale tests. Increasing the range of aura abilities as well. Yeah. Not bad. Slay the enemy warlord. Very difficult, that one. Saga of the Beast Slayer. Destroy a monster or vehicle. Well, quite doable with the Tempest Hammer. +1 to wound rolls for attacks made by unit affected by the Saga against monsters or vehicles. Even if you don't... Yeah, well, you could go vehicle hunting with this, actually. Because he's going to get it himself. So 3 attacks, 4 attacks on the charge, 2s to hit with the hammer. In the assault phase, 6 is popping extra hits. It's going to be AP -4, 3 wounds at a time. And then to wound, it's going to be a 2+ with the benefit of this. And then he's going to start granting it to other units nearby. That one's a good one as well, Saga of the Beast Slayer. Saga of the Hunter. Successfully charge an enemy unit with your warlord. Very durable. It's now going to affect other units within 6 inches. But it's a unit affected by a Saga in your charge phase can charge even if it advanced. Yeah, pretty useful again. And then it's difficult to choose here. Saga of the Bear. Successfully passes save and throw. It's got 2 up armor save. It's roll a dice each time you lose a wound. It's a 6. It's not lost, and that's going to start applying to other units within 6 inches as well. Just add a bit more durability to your army. So that's well worth looking into that to see which one of those works best. It may well take a bit of experimentation to see which one works the best for your force and the way you're using your army. But that's definitely something to consider as well. For the sake of one command point, you can unleash some pretty good upgrades just there. But I think I'll have to experiment a few times to see which one works best. So it's a cheap character, but the potential to have a lot of benefit for the rest of the army. So that's the tactic of him. I don't really need to roll up any dice really just to see what he can do. I've got a pretty good idea. That hammer's nasty enough. You'll be able to kick out some nasty wounds against vehicles and monsters and so on. Just need a little bit more help with some extra attacks. But now with the updated rules, in the assault phase, 6 is popping extra hits, and the +1 to the hit rolls as well on the charge. For Savage Fury, it's Shock Assault is the ability you get, then that's going to help out as well. But fantastic model. One of the unique sculpts for the Space Wolves. So that's excellent. Cheap in points and some very useful abilities. Decent enough in close combat, decent pistol, and the ability, crucially for my list anyway, to restore wounds on these Dreadnoughts when they start taking damage. So that's the Tactics of Showcase video. Check out Siege Studios, there's a link for them in the video description below. You can check them out on Instagram as well. There is a link to their website on the channel homepage. Also, get in contact with them for your own painting commission work for yourself. But that's the video. Keep a lookout for more Space Wolves contents on the way. Just looking to polish this army off, and then hoping to do a complete army video so you get to see the entire collection, and then hopefully some battle reports with the Space Wolves in the future as well. That's the plan. So some exciting times ahead, all being well. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.